एक मिनिट सर. Yes sir, you are live sir.
Okay. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, sir.
Today is World Environment Day. On behalf of EACP, I welcome the Director, Dr. Krishnan, the Speaker of the Day, Shri Manoj Mehta, Chief Managing Director, Mahalakshmi E-Recyclers Private Limited, Pune, and all the employees of IITM and all online participants. The objective of EACP, that is Environmental Information, Awareness, Capacity Building and Livelihood Program, is to spread awareness on environmental issues. MOF has initiated a program called Lifestyle for Environment. This is an India-led global mass movement to nudge individual and community action to protect and preserve the environment. The theme of this year's Environmental Day is Beat Plastic Pollution. It serves as a platform to raise awareness about environmental issues and encourage global action to protect and preserve our planet. World Environment Day is an opportunity to engage in various activities such as tree planting, cleanup campaigns, environmental education programs, sustainable developmental projects, and advocacy for policy changes. It encourages individuals to reflect on their own environmental impact and make positive changes in their daily lives to protect the planet. The day serves as a reminder that we all have a responsibility to safeguard the environment and promote sustainable practices. It emphasizes the importance of collective efforts in combating climate change, conserving biodiversity, reducing pollution, and promoting a more sustainable and resilient future for all. We are organizing various programs today. The first one is a talk by an expert, Sri Mehtaji, on good practices of handling and various ways of recycling e-waste. After that, there is e-waste collection drive to be launched by the director IITM. Later, there will be plant distribution and plantation. Uh, Posters prepared by students on Mission Life will also be displayed. Request all of you to join all these programs after the recitation of the national anthem. So by 11 o'clock, I request all of you to join and also participate in all these programs. And request you to collect e-waste, and then two bins are kept at the reception hall and as well as in community hall of the our colony. So all of you please collect e-waste from your home as well as office and from your friends and also, and then deposit there, which will be recycled. Now I request Sri Manoj Mehta, Chief Managing Director, Mahalakshmi Recyclers Private Limited, Pune, to deliver the talk on good practices of handling and various ways of recycling e-waste. Uh, Mehtaji, please deliver your talk. And we have a national anthem to be recited at 10:50. So I request you to try to complete your talk before that by 10:40.
Good morning, everybody who have joined this live session. Myself, Manoj Mehta. I am Managing Director of Mahalakshmi E-Recyclers Private Limited, Pune. Since 2013, we have established the company, and I'm proud to say that for last 10 years, we are trying to help the improve environment by recycling around 500 tons of e-waste every year. So to be precise, I think all of you, the audience is all aware of what is e-waste, how it is generated, and what are the issues regarding that. Is it an interactive section, sir, or shall I go on and
it's
then?
Not interactive. You deliver your talk at the end. If they have any questions, they will ask.
Okay. To begin with, e-waste is all the obsolete or not in use equipment which are running on electric and electronic current. Those because of obsolete, because of upgradation, because of failure, because of component failure, and whatever it is. And since it contains lot of heavy metals and hazardous substances like tin, mercury, lead, cadmium, then beryllium gases, it is very important or essential to handle them in a careful way, which is done by companies like us throughout India and throughout world. Uh, if it is not handled properly, then it may lead to hazardous diseases like cancer and respiratory diseases and bone diseases. If they are burnt openly, or if they are buried in the land, or if they are thrown away in the water, it may contaminate land, it may contaminate water, and it may lead to a lot of such carcinogenic and respiratory diseases. Lead, as you know, it's very hazardous to health if it is not properly handled. Same is the way mercury, cadmium, and other heavy metals and gases like beryllium. What happens is, till 2011, when the e-waste rules were implemented by Rajya Sabha, the e-waste, or you can say electronic and electric equipment which are not in use or obsolete or scrap, were handled by most of the unorganized sector like kabadiwalas or street camp scrap vendors or scrap vendors. They were not aware about the hazardous elements in that, and they used to practice all the traditional ways of burning wires, burning PCBs for extracting metals like copper and other precious metals which are there. They were doing it unknowingly, but they were getting all these diseases transferred to them, and obviously they were not doing it efficiently, so the recovery ratio was not up to the mark. After 2002, when Bhopal gas accident happened, India started feeling importance of implementing or drafting rules for such electric and electronic waste, which are based on the Basel Convention Europe. And we are as of now following most of the guidelines which are laid down by Basel Convention. And after 2011, there were upgraded rules in 2016, and now also 2022 rule set has been implemented as per the GR, and it is effective from 1st April 2023. See, handling or best practices of handling e-waste, which is the objective of today's lecture. That is, first is hand over the electronic waste or electric waste to an authorized e-waste management company like us. Why? Because we are authorized by the pollution control boards by evaluating and inspecting our facilities, our practices, and our process of handling the e-waste. We don't burn anything in our facility, we don't landfill anything in our facility, or we don't throw away any residue in our facility in water bodies. So one first best practice of handling e-waste is hand over the e-waste to an authorized e-waste management companies. Now let us elaborate these things. Why we should not hand it over to a kabadiwala or scrap vendor? Because they are not aware of hazardous elements or results or bad effect of handling e-waste incorrectly. So what they do is, for copper they burn the wire or cables. Cable contains PVC coating, and PVC, as you know, polyvinyl chloride. When it is burnt, the chlorine gets oxidated, which is very much dangerous to health. Because chlorine itself, if we handle it openly, it's very dangerous. It may cause unconsciousness, because chlorine is largely used in anesthesia also, or it is largely used in sanitizing the water. But if it is handled by human being or any live animals, it is very dangerous for skin, for respiratory things, and livelihood also. So apart from that, if you look at the PCBs, that is any electronic devices which are running on electric and electronic current, they are run through the various circuits on the PCBs, and those PCB circuits are soldered with tin, lead, mercury, and cadmium, and heavy metals like this. So these metals are also hazardous to health if they are not handled properly. So if suppose if they are burnt, or if they are just kept on fire for desoldering the circuits, then the oxidation, or then the gases out of that which are there in the capacitors, like beryllium gas is there, PCBs are there. So these gases, when are oxidized, they are also injurious to health. They may affect your respiratory system, they may affect your skin, and they definitely are carcinogenic, means they lead to cancerous disease. So second is these PCBs, and third, whenever such PCBs or cables or other things are burned, the residues or the ash which is left over is either landfill in the land or thrown away in the water bodies. So it is both way it is dangerous, because if it is thrown away into the water, then the water body or water ecology, like fish or whatever livelihood is there in water, they are consuming that water, and ultimately the water or the water bodies or fish, they are consumed by human beings. So those diseases which are caused by these heavy metals and residuals of heavy metals, they are transferred to human beings. If you are aware, you might have heard news around Delhi, that lands around Delhi which are fertilized or fertile on the Yamuna river water, the green vegetables like methi, palak and all, they also contain certain amount of heavy metals like lead and mercury. So it is when such residue is landfilled, then the land gets contaminated, and those residues which are landfill, they may be included in our green vegetables or other vegetables. Similarly, the land may get contaminated. I mean, the fertility of land may get affected if such residuals are landfill. So, first best practice is hand over the e-waste only to an authorized e-waste management company. Second is, as we are now hearing all these 3 Rs, that is reduce, reuse and recycle. So, second best way of handling e-waste is don't store it more than 180 days. Means if there is no e-waste management company in your state, so go beyond your state boundaries and hand over it to available e-waste management companies, because certain equipment or certain PCBs, they start leaching if they are coming into contact with atmosphere, because there are small capacitors, there are small PCBs, there are lead acid batteries or small batteries which are there on the PCBs or mobile phones. If they are coming into contact with atmosphere or various climatic condition, then they start leaching, and if they are leaching, then it may cause diseases to human being. Or sometimes if the lead acid batteries start leaching, and the lead acid is leached, and if they come into contact with some fire or warmth, then the batteries may get exploded. So try avoiding storage of e-waste more than 180 days. And third one is following 3 Rs, like reduction of use of electronic devices or electronic gadgets if it is not necessary. So that means nowadays we are seeing that every person is having more than one mobile phone. Someone is having two, someone is having three. So what happens is, and due to continuous hammering or continuous aggressive marketing of these electronic device manufacturing companies, we tend to change the gadgets, but we never see what happens to the gadget which we are changing, what or we are not using or we are throwing down. So if we reduce that percentage of using new gadgets and try to optimum use of the available electronic gadget, then the amount of e-waste generation will get reduced. If you look at the quantum or volume of e-waste generated last year, that is in 2020 to 23, throughout the world, you will be surprised to know the volume. It is around 54 million tons that e-waste is generated throughout the world, and we India are on third rank in the world who generate large e-waste in the world. First is US, second is China, and third is India. Because with the population of 142 crores and every individual having minimum of one or two mobile phones, this e-waste generation is going to increase more and more, and it is estimated that every year this increase may be 25 to 30%. But sometimes or it is need of the time, we can say we cannot avoid upgradation because of technology upgradation, because of professional requirement, but try to reduce the uh, usage of electronic devices if it is not necessary. It means if you can manage with one gadget, please do that. If you are able to manage with shared resources like cloud management and all, then it may reduce up to some extent usage of electronic devices. Then comes to the reduce policy for manufacturers. Manufacturer can reduce the hazardous elements of used in the gadgets. Like now companies like Airbus, they have stopped using lead completely in their Airbus wiring and PCBs and everything. So they have replaced lead. So try to reduce hazardous element. For that, there is RoHSS rule set available also. So as much as possible, try to reduce the hazardous element in the electric and electronic devices. Then comes to reuse. Means suppose if you are compelled to change your electronic device, then try to give it to someone who can use it again further, who either who cannot afford or for him it is useful. So best way to do that is donate such equipment to schools, donate such equipment to lower income group, and that way reduce the manufacturing of or increasing the demand for new electronic devices. Now let me tell you the impact of electronic waste generation or non-recycling the electronic waste. See, when we manufacture any electronic device or electric device, we require plastic and metal, and both of them are minerals. Means they are derived or they are refined from mineral. But every kilo of metal or plastic requires 3 tons of excavation for getting that much of metal or petrochemical or plastic into refined stage. So 3 tons of excavation, manpower required for that, power required for that, water resources required for that, and deforestation which is happening for 1 kg of metal or plastic refined stage, leading to 3 tons of excavation we can save by recycling the available electronic waste. So which can be called as urban mining. Means the resource or the efforts which are required to recover the metal from electronic waste are much cheaper, much lower, and much economically or environmentally efficient than mining from earth and refining the metal or getting the plastic from refined petrochemicals. So we have seen reduce, then reuse, and lastly this we can say third R is recycle. Means whatever electronic or electric equipment you are using, and if you are not able to use it anymore, or anybody else is not able to use it anymore, then give it for recycling by an authorized agency like us in an environment friendly recycling of e-waste. We are proud to say that around 468 e-waste management companies are there in India, and most of them are having an objective of zero residual or zero landfill or zero throwaway residuals of e-waste. Means in our facility at Pune, we handle around 500 tons of e-waste every year. So out of that 500 tons of e-waste handled, we hardly give for disposal hardly 1 ton of residual to the TSDF facility, that is common treatment and disposal facility, which is there in Ranjangaon. So we try to maximum reuse whatever electronic equipment we receive. Like for example, we receive IT equipment, laptop, desktops, monitors, CPUs, printers, keyboard, mouse. So with a little bit of refurbishment, with a little bit of repairs, or with a little bit of upgradation, we try to reuse them in a second-hand market or rental market, or uh, uh, which are useful in schools, which are useful for the smaller kids or students, which they don't require any high-end or higher configuration equipment like current models. So we try to reuse them by refurbishing or repair them, and avoid maximum landfilling or disposal or destruction of any material from e-waste. So we follow most of the 3R objectives. That is reduction. We don't encourage upgradation of gadgets. We try to reuse by refurbishing and repair, and we recycle whatever cannot be reused or refurbished. Typically, all the old models, like suppose now we are into the age of i3 or i7 processors or smartphone. So the equipment like feature phones or Pentium 4, 186 through 286, 386 devices, which cannot be used even in schools or even by a small this thing. We try to we recycle all such equipment. So we can say these are the best practices of handling e-waste, and of course try to try to be preventive than post failure operation. Like if you are using electronic devices, use UPS to protect them from power failure or component failure. Keep them in good climatic condition or environmental condition. Keep keep regular maintenance of such devices, so the life of those equipment is extended and the requirement for new equipment is reduced. So in short, these can be the best ways of handling e-waste or electronic devices. Now let us come to ways of recycling. There are 2 to 3 methodologies with which we can recycle electronic waste. One is of course mechanical, one is chemical, and third one is biotechnology, or you can say non-mechanical or non-chemical. So with mechanical technology, we can first dismantle the electronic device or electric device which has come to a recycling facility, then separate out solid metal, solid plastic from them, and we arrive or we then we get typical or pure e-waste like PCBs or cables or processors, which are integrated plastic and metal together due to soldering into each other. So by mechanical way, first these PCBs are shredded down and they are powdered, and with gravity separation or water separation based or electromagnetic separation based, the plastic and metal out of those integrated PCBs are separated, and then further the metal alloys which are there in that, they are separated with the help of electrowinning or chemical processing, which is also known as hydrometallurgy. And then all the available metals which are there in huge scale, they are recovered from that e-waste, and the plastic is again reused or recycled for granules, or the plastic is then converted into fuel like light diesel oil or LPG gas. That is done through a technology called pyrolysis. Means the e-waste or the plastic which is separated out but which is in integrated or mixed way, it is pyrolysis means thermally heating. The thermal heat is given to such plastic, and then the gas out of that, which is in pure format, is nothing but methane and LPG gas, which can be used again in the same pyrolysis chamber as its fuel. And impure gas, then it is when it is condensed, it is transformed into light diesel oil, which can be used in various industrial furnaces as their crude oil requirement, which can be a replacement for refined diesel. And the remaining carbon out of this pyrolysis, or the remaining carbon, which is black carbon, is again can be used to make things like shoe polish, or it is again after some treatment used in cosmetics also as activated black carbon. And for natural filter, the black carbon can be used in a natural water filtration system. Like suppose if you have organic filtration or organic home, then the natural filter of water is done through this black carbon and soil. So that is the best filter of water. That is the best way of filtering water. So this way we can. This is one of the method of recycling e-waste. The another method is again chemical method or hydrometallurgy. As I said, the complete PCB or the complete electronic waste, this thing, motherboard or processor or RAM, or those which are having integrated circuit, they are leached in various chemicals according to the availability of metals. And the chemicals are hydrochloric acid or nitric acid, and sometimes it is cyanide also, which is used to liberate or separate out precious metals like gold, platinum, palladium into that, silver and copper, of course. But that is little bit risky way, because handling of such chemicals like nitric acid, hydrochloric acid and cyanide is dangerous to health for human being. So mechanical method is used largely in world for recycling e-waste. And third one is of course bioleaching, means with the help of various bacteria and enzymes, the PCBs are leached in those solutions which are equipped with various bacteria and enzymes, and those enzymes or bacteria they leach the metal from the PCB because their food is those plastic particles out of that, and the metal which is separated again either with the color separation technology, the metal is separated, or again it is alloyed and then separated with hydrometallurgy. So these are typically traditional or three ways of recycling e-waste. Of course, best way is refurbishing first and then go for recycling. So we can avoid as much as possible landfilling and contaminating water. And if we look at the composition of e-waste, is 68% of e-waste is IT equipment, and rest 32% are other consumer durables or industrial tools or toys or medical equipment. And out of these e-waste, 80% is plastic and MS metal, and remaining 20% are non-ferrous and precious metals. So it is very important to recycle e-waste because it gives you a resource, or it gives you readily available metal rather than mining for them. So that is what the two objectives we have covered today of handling e-waste and methods of recycling. It is a vast subject, so next time, any day, if we have more time, we can go into more depth. If any question answers, please go ahead, or we can go for national anthem.
Are there any questions you can ask? I think if there are no questions, let us thank Sri Manoj Mehta ji for accepting our invitation and giving a very informative talk. Let us thank him once again.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
So please join for national anthem and tree plantation.
Yeah, it is the national anthem is online, or we should go
No,
downstairs.
we'll go down. Please come down. Gaurav will
Yes,
bring
sir.
you down.
Okay, sir. Thank
Thank you,
you.
sir. Thank you very much.
हेलो हाँ कौन हाँ